What is Gucci, everybody? Welcome to another video. This one is centering around Ruby on Rails. In this video, we're going to be concentrating on a gem, and what I hope to start is a gem series. Gems are libraries in Rails you can use to easily make your code faster and use other people's code to generate things. In this case, we're going to be using Faker to generate passwords, names, and paragraphs to easily create models. Now, what I've done is I made a simple Rails project. Using Rails version 4.2.6. You can just use 4.0 plus. And I have a basic file, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my gem file, and I'm going to add the Faker gem, F-A-K-E-R. Then I'm going to run the classic bundle install, and I'm gonna explain what Faker does. I'm gonna have a link to the GitHub link below, but what Faker does is it generates fake information for fields. So for instance, if you want Faker to generate a password or an email, it will generate a fake email, but at least it'll be in the correct format. So emails with an @, it will generate paragraphs for you to show text, or it can generate names for you with a middle name, a last name, depending on what you give it. And this makes it very interesting. And so also you can create all these different users or fake models to show off, how your site would look with all this data populated. It's a great way to populate your models or website with fake data. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to make a model. So we're going to do Rails G for generate model, and we're going to make a zombie. I'm going to give it a name, we're going to give it an age, we're going to give it an integer, we're going to give it a story, and that's going to be a text. So text is just a string, but it can store a lot more text. It can store like a book. And what else can we give it? That can be good for now. Also, we'll also give it an email. And by default, that's a string. Okay? So we gave it a name, age, story, and email. Boom. So I'm going to create that model, and I'm going to run rake db migrate. Sweet. Okay, so now we've created that model, and it's going to be in our schema. But the thing also we're going to do is we're going to generate a task, and this task is going to be used as it is going to generate a rake file for us, and this rake file is going to create our models. So now if I go into Vim, I can look at my schema and see if I created a table called zombies that has a name, age, story, and email. And now I'm going to go to my db.rake file, as you see right above here, and I have a namespace. I'm going to give it a description that says populates the database zombies, and we're going to make it a task. We're going to give it a task that's called populate, and it's going to use the environment. So we have to make sure that we specify the environment. And then we're going to have do, and then we're going to have zombie.create. I'm going to use an exclamation mark, so the output gives us an error if it does, and we're going to fill out the fields. Before we do this, I forgot to do one thing. We're going to use a loop, so we're going to do 100.times do, and we're going to have end right there. So we're going to do a loop that creates 100 different zombies, and so we're going to give it a name, we're going to give it an age, we're going to give it an email, and we're going to give it a story. Okay, so the first thing we can do is we can use Faker to give it a name, and we can just call .name. Don't forget to add a comma afterwards. And now we're going to go into giving it a age, email, and story. And for that, we're going to visit the documentation. Here in the Faker documentation, that if I go to Faker name in the contents, that if I do faker.name, it will create a random name for me, in this case, Christoph Bartel. And so we can also do addresses and other things. But what we are going to look for is next is number. And with number, we can do faker number between 1 and 10. So let's do that. In this case, we're going to do 5. We'll do 18 and 100. And for email, we have to do faker internet.email. So remember, email is a little bit confusing. It's not just easy. So it's faker internet email, and remember to put a comma after the age. And now we're going to do a story. And what we're going to do is we're going to give faker an address, we're going to give faker a paragraph to go off of. And what this is going to be is this is going to be a lorem ipsum paragraph. And so this allows us to generate a lot of text easily. So we're going to do faker lorem dot paragraphs. And you can see here from the documentation that paragraphs with the parameter returns a array, and we don't want that. We want a string. So we're going to just do faker.paragraph, which just returns us a nice paragraph. Or maybe we can do 2. So there you go. We're doing 100 times, and we're creating 100 different zombies. So also, just to be easy, we're going to do zombie.destroyAll. So we always only have 100 zombies in our database. So we're going to do rake db populate, and we're going to cross our fingers. And now we're going to go into our Rails console to see what our count is of zombie. Any guesses? We have 100. So let's get this first zombie and let's look at it. So we have, I set A equal to the first zombie, and its name is Claude Shangdon. Let's do a.name, Claude Shangdon, a.email, Caden Peel at clocko.name, whatever, still valid, and a.story, a.age, 95. So it has this weird story, explicable, rescubado, and now let's do zombie.last.name, and it's the last zombie. His name is Leon Conley Sr., its age is 53, and its email is brittany@stokes.net. So as you can see here, the fields are really random, and it allows you to play with data and see what different data looks like maybe, and possibly help you catch some errors. But you should actually write tests for those. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the Faker Gem. I'll include the link to the documentation, but you can use this for numbers, for digits, for books, for, I don't even know what hipster is, words, pretty cool. So you guys have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have the best day of your life. Try to give us a like if you remember me.